I'm Father Edward Hauschild, and this is Ask a Priest, where I answer some of the questions that have been asked on the Ask a Priest subreddit. Today's question is from CReyes03, and they're asking about precepts. So they've asked, does the Easter Precept involve Lent? Does it involve the Triduum? Today, a priest told me that taking communion on Holy Friday fulfills the precept. Is this legit, or should it always be Easter Sunday? So for those who don't know, there are 5 of what we call precepts of the Church. These precepts are rules that every Catholic is asked to follow. So you do these 5 things at a bare minimum, and you can call yourself a practicing Catholic. The 5 precepts are, first, that you attend Mass on Sundays and on holy days of obligation. Second, that you observe the days of fasting and abstinence. Third, that you provide for the material needs of the Church. Fourth, that you go to confession at least once a year. And fifth, to receive the Eucharist, that is, Holy Communion, at least once a year. The questioner is asking about the 5th precept, because the Church's law requires that this precept be fulfilled during the Easter season. Now, I'll be honest and I'll say this precept is a bit of an historical anachronism. For most of the Church's history, Catholics fasted. That means they didn't eat anything at all from midnight the day before they were receiving communion until they received communion. So if you were going to receive the Eucharist on Sunday, you would start fasting between midnight on Saturday and then 10 or 11 o'clock on the Sunday morning. If you broke the fast before going to Mass, you wouldn't receive communion. This led to a lot of people going to Mass on Sunday and not receiving communion. There were also, up until the 19th century, a number of movements like Jansenism that discouraged people from making a regular, by regular I mean weekly, communion, stressing that they were unworthy to receive communion and that they shouldn't be receiving at all. And so some people went years without receiving communion at all. And this movement, Jansenism, persisted right up until the 19th century. Now the Church, obviously wanting people to receive the Eucharist for the spiritual good which comes from receiving, introduced a precept to guarantee that at least once in the year at Easter, people would come to communion. Now the reason that I say this is a bit of a historical anachronism is that the counter-movement encouraging weekly, if not daily, communion has been enormously successful. Most practicing Catholics receive communion every Sunday, and many receive communion every single day. This is in part because the Eucharistic fast is now only 1 hour before receiving and not from midnight the day before. So you could even go to a Mass in the evening and receive communion provided that you've waited an hour without eating or drinking anything other than water. But this is still a precept of the Church and we are still bound to receive communion in the Easter season. Well, what does the Easter season mean? The Easter season begins on Holy Saturday at the Vigil Mass of Easter, and it continues for 50 days thereafter, ending on the Feast of Pentecost. If you receive communion or on any of these 50 days, you will have satisfied the Easter precept. This has been an episode of Ask a Priest. If you have any questions or any comments, anything you want to ask, drop it in the comment section below or post them onto the Ask a Priest subreddit and hope that I see them there. Goodbye and God bless.